Well, with me here in the studio is Miriam González, lawyer and co-chair of DeCare's International Trade and Government Regulation Practice. Many thanks for joining me here in the studio. I just want to drill down on that last point because we keep hearing this, that if no trade agreement is reached within the 2-year Brexit negotiation window, the UK will fall back on WTO rules. What does that actually mean, and will it be a disaster?
Well, it means two different things, really. When we talk about trade, normally we need to differentiate between goods and services. On goods, it means that we will fall on the WTO tariffs that normally are higher than the ones that are nothing, basically, now between the UK and the EU, and therefore the cost can be calculated very easily for any company trading with goods with European Union countries. You just calculate the amount of trade that you send there by the increase in the tariff. You add the bits and pieces that you will need in terms of the import handler, the agent, and the export agent is around £50 per consignment, more or less, on average. You add it all together, and that is what would mean for you as an industry. In addition to all that, not having a bilateral trade agreement means that you will have a whole series of non-regulatory, of non-tariff barriers, regulatory barriers, that could be applicable to you. That is the bit where in the WTO organization we have made some inroads, but not fully. On services, it's much more complex. On services, it is true that the provisions in the World Trade Organization, they are a bit more basic. Services depend a lot on regulation, and there are only very few bits and pieces that we have managed to do on regulation, on very basic on financial services, on telecoms. That is actually a deal that I helped to negotiate. So the difference between the regulatory comfort and non-discrimination that we have now and what we could find if we are in the WTO is quite big.
So just to be clear, in the absence of single market membership, if no comprehensive free trade agreement, when we're talking about the non-financial services sector, which we are today, you actually think the biggest potential danger is non-tariff barriers?
Both for services and for goods. Non-tariff barriers is where the whole trade game is now. It was when people keep talking about tariffs and whether we are going to see a big difference, that at least you can calculate. But that in a way was where the trade debate was in the 70s or 80s. Now the whole debate is on the non-tariff barriers, on the regulatory muscle that you have. No?
Very, very briefly, are you confident a deal can be reached in 2 years?
I think in 2 years it's going to be very challenging. It could be reached on goods easily, but the problem is that the UK has most of the strength on services.
Very tough then. Miriam González, fantastic to speak to you.